Los Angeles, January 1947. The city was still selling a dream. Hollywood lights, movie studios, new faces arriving every day, hoping to become stars. But on the morning of January 15th, that dream was broken by one of the most disturbing discoveries in American crime history. A woman's body was found in a vacant lot. She was young, only 22 years old. Her name was Elizabeth Short, but the world would come to know her by another name, the Black Dahlia. Her murder shocked Los Angeles. It filled newspapers. It pulled in police, reporters, witnesses, and the FBI. And decades later, the case remains officially unsolved. No confirmed killer, no final confession, no courtroom conviction. Only a victim whose real story was buried beneath headlines, rumors, and one of the most famous names in true crime. This is not a legend. This is not fiction. This is the factual story of Elizabeth Short and the murder that became known as the Black Dahlia case. Elizabeth Short was born on the 29th of July 1924 in Massachusetts. She grew up during the difficult years of the Great Depression. Her life was not the glamorous Hollywood story that newspapers later tried to create. She was a young woman from an ordinary background, living through an uncertain time in America. Like many young people of her generation, she moved between places, searching for stability, work, and opportunity. During the 1940s, California attracted thousands of people. Some came for the military industry. Some came for work. Some came for the possibility of a new life. Los Angeles was more than a city. It was an idea, a place where someone could arrive unknown and still hope to become someone. Elizabeth Short was later described as a Hollywood hopeful, but there is no confirmed record that she became a working film actress. Her connection to Hollywood became part of the story after her death, partly because of where she lived, how newspapers presented her, and the way the public imagined. Morning of the 15th of January 1947, a woman walking with her young child in Los Angeles noticed something in a vacant lot. At first, the sight appeared unreal. Some reports say she thought it might have been a mannequin, but it was not a mannequin. It was the body of a young woman. The victim was later identified as Elizabeth Short. The condition of the body was severe and shocking. Police were called to the scene. The discovery immediately became a major investigation. The case drew attention because of the brutality of the crime, the public location where the body was found, and the identity of the victim. Investigators had to answer several urgent questions. Who was she? Where had she been before her death? Who had killed her? And why had her body been left there? At the scene, police began collecting evidence. But in 1947, crime scene investigation was not what it is today. Modern DNA testing did not exist. Surveillance cameras were not present. Digital records did not exist. Investigators depended on fingerprints, interviews, witness statements, physical evidence, and traditional police work. One of the first major breakthroughs came through identification. Elizabeth Short's fingerprints were sent to the FBI. The FBI had her fingerprints on file from a previous record that allowed authorities to identify the victim. Now the case had a name, Elizabeth Short, and soon the newspapers had another one, the Black Dahlia. The name Black Dahlia became one of the most famous crime labels in American history. But it was not her legal name. Her name was Elizabeth Short. The nickname appeared in press coverage after the murder. It was connected to reports about her black clothing and the popularity of dramatic newspaper nicknames at the time. The name also echoed the film title, The Blue Dahlia, released in the 1940s. Once the newspapers had a name, the case spread rapidly. The Black Dahlia sounded mysterious. It sounded cinematic. It sounded like something from a crime novel. And that is part of why the case became so deeply embedded in American culture. But the nickname also created distance between the public and the real victim. Elizabeth Short became a symbol, a mystery, a headline, a story people could repeat. But behind that name was a real young woman whose life had ended violently. For a fact-based documentary, this must be clear. The case is not famous because of the nickname. The case is famous because a real person was murdered, and justice was never delivered. The investigation into Elizabeth Short's murder became one of the largest and most publicized police efforts of its time. The Los Angeles Police Department led the investigation. The FBI provided assistance, especially with identification and records. The case quickly became difficult. Police had to reconstruct Elizabeth Short's final known movements. They interviewed people who knew her. They searched for witnesses. They followed tips. They examined letters, statements, and possible leads. But the investigation also faced a major problem: public attention. The murder received enormous press coverage. Newspapers competed for details. Reporters pursued angles aggressively. Rumors spread quickly. People contacted police with information. Some information was useful. Much of it was not. In high-profile cases, public attention can help investigators, but it can also create confusion. False leads waste time. Unverified stories become part of the public record. People insert themselves into the case, and facts can become buried under speculation. That happened in the Black Dahlia case. The murder became more than an investigation. It became a national obsession. After Elizabeth Short's body was found, the case took another disturbing turn. A person claiming to be connected to the murder contacted the press. According to official accounts, the Los Angeles Examiner received communication from someone claiming to be the killer. Soon after, a package was sent to newspapers. It contained personal items connected to Elizabeth Short, including documents and photographs. The envelope had words cut from newspaper print. This immediately intensified the case. Police had to determine whether the sender was truly the killer or someone exploiting the crime. In any major case, especially one receiving heavy press attention, investigators must separate real evidence from hoaxes. The Black Dahlia investigation saw many false confessions and unreliable claims over time. That is one reason the case became so difficult. The public wanted an answer. Newspapers wanted a story. Police needed proof. And proof was exactly what remained missing. Over the years, many people have been discussed as possible suspects in the Black Dahlia case. Some were questioned during the original investigation. Some were named by later writers. Some became the focus of books, theories, and documentaries. But the official fact remains this: no person has ever been convicted of murdering Elizabeth Short. and a question that has lasted for generations. Who killed Elizabeth Short? This was the story of Elizabeth Short, known to history as the Black Dahlia. For more true crime documentaries, cold cases, and unsolved mystery files, subscribe to the channel. Because some stories do not end, they wait.